What's up, my brothers and sisters? I've been seeing a lot of people talk about the buoys off of Oregon coast, and the past couple of days, I think they've been saying that the buoys have been going off like 3 or 4 times or something like that within the past couple of days. So everybody's like saying that there's an earthquake threat, and there probably is. I'm because I'm always saying that there is, and obviously we all know that there is at some point. When that's going to happen, I have no idea. I'm going off of what I'm looking at, because you all know how I go off of giving the warning, right? Because I'm looking at all this energy. And for those of you who have been watching my channel for some time, you can agree that what I'm showing you has gradually gotten worse over time. It's more intense, it's bigger, it's like more noticeable. And I've been watching this for some time, maybe like 2 years. And when I ended up figuring this out and finding it, and then I found this through just like observation, right? Um, Honestly, I don't even remember how I found it. Um, I think the Lord has a way of showing me these things, and I think that's kind of how I found it. Just kind of with like hints and clues that Creator gave me. So with that being said, I just thought it was kind of odd that I'm getting on Google, right? And then they have this as a story. And it says warm liquid spewing from Oregon seafloor comes from Cascadia Fault. Could offer clues to earthquake hazards. So now we've confirmed that there is a earthquake hazard, okay? And then now they're saying it's a bunch of gas and that you can pause and read it if you'd like or possibly look up the story yourself, but um this is the reason why the buoys are going off. So it's safe to say that, here in the near future, we're probably going to have a pretty good um, earthquake. So, the fluctuation of the water and the gases would make sense that it keeps setting off these buoys because it's like a bobber in the water, right? Like you're trying to like go fishing and you got like the bobber. So it's pretty much like the same concept, I suppose. And well, that would be the reason why these buoys are going off. So with that being said, I just thought it was pretty interesting that like all of a sudden they like feature this story here, right? And it's like because, obviously this is probably the answer. And so I guess it's safe to say that yeah, we got some problems coming in the near future and it's quite obvious. So with that being said, we've gone from train derailments back to factory explosions, which I think is kind of funny and odd, right? Because it's like, I don't know, if the bad guys are doing it, they're probably like, we better get off the train derailments. They're like, yeah, because they're not falling for it anymore. Especially when you got guys like Jews saying they happen all the time, and like, we're like reporting all these like train derailments that are like irrelevant, right? Like they absolutely cause no damage. Anyways, so now we're back to factory explosions, which is kind of weird, but I have an explanation. First off, I want you to start with an experiment. That way I can prove what I'm trying to tell you. For some time, I've been saying, I don't know if any of you drink like beer or soda. I mean, so far, I know for sure sodas, but let's say a can or a bottled soda. It doesn't matter if it's a big bottle or like one you got at like the $1.50 like machine or whatever, right? Or a can. When you open these sodas, listen closely to the carbonation coming out of it. You're going to notice a big difference. Some people have taken notice because it's extremely loud and constant. Some people just are absolutely oblivious to it. So I want you to pay attention to your soda drink. Just like listen to it, right? I mean, if you really if everything's so loud, just like keep it close to you, and just kind of pay attention to the fizzle, because I can guarantee you that the fizzle is a lot more than usual. Okay, I guarantee it, 100% guarantee that when you open your soda can or your bottled soda, whether it be Coke, Sprite, I don't care what it is, just listen to the carbonation, okay? You're gonna notice what I'm talking about. The reason this is because there's an energy in the air that I've been talking about. This energy is becoming so great and so constant, even tonight. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I know it's happening at all times. Okay? There's taps at my roof. It sounds like somebody's throwing pebbles at my window. Even at your cars. Like if you go outside and like you're washing your car, like you're hanging out by your car, like listen closely. You'll hear the windshield, like somebody throws a pebble at it, right? It'll literally go, right? Like somebody's like throwing pebbles. Your house is gonna crack extremely more than usual. Your walls, the ceiling, the floor. Okay, just pay attention, and you'll know what I'm talking about. Okay. Well, when it comes to like a dent in like a water bottle or a soda bottle, I've been noticing that these dents are pushing out. Okay. It took me some time to kind of think about it, but now I'm kind of like figuring it out. Okay. I'm going to get to it here in a second. Just give me a second. Because I'm explaining where you can find this and how you can find it, right? And how I can prove that this is probably what's happening. Okay. There's paint cans in my room. And I've even heard it outside in the coffee cans in the shed. It literally goes, dong, right? You know how like when you open a pickle jar and it says like on the lid, if the lid is poofed, that means that it's probably not good or that it's been open already. So don't purchase that or don't like eat it. It's gone bad or whatever. So when you open that pickle jar, it's literally gonna go punk, right? It's got that little like I don't know, like that little lid, right? And it's got like a pop top. So with that being said, there's a pressure in the air, okay? And I keep hearing it in the paint cans, the coffee cans. Like the coffee can will go boom, right? And then the paint can will go boom, right? And then like the like water bottle, if it's got a dent in it, it'll literally like that plastic noise where it's like, somebody like squeezes the water bottle, you'll hear it like inflate, okay? The reason this is because the energy I want to say is made of heat, okay? When heat occurs, it expands. So the water bottle, for instance, it's expanding in the water ball, which pushes the dent out. In the coffee cans and all that, the air in the can is expanding, so it makes that boom, right? The lid noise, right? It's like pah. So it's a form of heat. Okay, I want to explain something. When I used to do construction and I was doing painting, um we would use like paint thinner and stuff like that, right? To like go over like our mess ups, maybe like I messed up cutting doing some cutting, maybe you spilled some paint, right? So we're all like kind of like tidying up the job, right? You're cleaning up the paint, I've messed up on the cutting, right? So we're all using these rags and like, or like maybe we're doing like stain, right? And like we're using like paint thinner. So I'm gonna throw my rag and you're gonna throw your rag out, right? And like we're literally gonna throw it like in a pile. Well, I was at a job site one time and we kind of were just like throwing them out the window and like we didn't think anything of it, right? Like so there's like all these rags like out like in the middle of like the house where there's like this like indention in the house and there's like a shat like a shade basically. Well, we left all the rags laying there and then we put them all in a box. We didn't think anything of it and we went to lunch. Well, like 30 minutes to an hour later we came back and all of a sudden like this box literally bursted into flames. We thought it was like freaking magic or something, right? And we were like, "Oh man!" Right? Like we were there like stomping it down, throwing water on it. But like we were literally like eating lunch, right? And like we came back, so we ended up realizing that the reason why they literally combusted was because the sun was shining on them. Not to mention the example that you're reading here, right? So it's gonna create heat by itself. That's all it needs, and it's going to self ignite. You know what I'm saying? Like this is simply put, rags that contain residue of oil-based paints and stains, paint thinners, varnishes, can spontaneously combust and catch on fire. Okay? So let's say that this energy is also causing these fires at these factories. I'm not sure what they're using, but I'm assuming that there's some kind of flammable. I mean, every factory usually has like some kind of form of like something flammable. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they even can't keep paint thinner in the closet, right? Why? I have no idea. But I don't know. Maybe it's used to clean these pipes or whatever, like machines. And well, with that being said, you've got a form of heat traveling through the air that's physically affecting you and everything around your house, the water bottles, the soda, right? It's like a pressure. So, with that being said, this energy travels through the walls, it travels through your body, right? It's causing the carbonation in your soda to be like extra like fizzly. I'm telling you, just like pay attention. You'll know what I mean. It literally sounds like somebody's throwing pebbles at my windows. Like my roof is cracking and popping. It sounds like somebody's tapping and banging on the walls. Like if you pay attention, you'll know what I'm talking about, man. And mostly it happens at night. And I can't just say it's like because of like the expansion and of like the cold air and the hot air, right? Like a regular house would, because this is more like a constant and excessive, and it's getting stronger. And so this would be my explanation as to why things are maybe combusting by themselves, because this form of heat and energy, which heat is usually transformed into energy, or vice versa. So if you have combustible items, like let's take like kerosene. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, a lot of this stuff just needs like a spark or like a form of like heat. And if this is the case, like things are gonna start like blowing up. You know what I'm saying? Like he, energy is usually transformed into some kind of heat into some kind of energy, right? Like, and this is my explanation as to why things are just like exploding, right? Like, and they probably never stopped. It's just that like people got off of that and they were like paying attention to the derailments, right? And but now people are getting off the derailments because they realize that like not every train crash, like I've been saying, is like going to be an Ohio train crash. You know what I'm saying? Like I think people realize that because I literally just saw like a story on the news, and they're really literally like saying that like another train derailment had happened, and it was literally like a train of like five carts, and it had like nothing in them. And I'm like, do they really need to like report that one? Like, do they really need to like, you know what I'm saying? But it never left. There's a form of energy happening here, and it's like the frequencies and the energy that I've been talking about. It's a real thing. Pay attention, you'll know what I'm talking about.